So we are continuing on Big Java and from K. Horseman, and we covered the first part, while loop, and we're going to the second part, which is hand tracing. The reason we want to do hand tracing is we want to be sure what we are thinking is actually happening. So we have a test cases, we want to follow the procedures that's happening, the processing that's happening in our loop to be sure it's doing what we think it should be doing. So we have a while loop. Remember about the set, check, change. So we are setting stuff. So my n is greater than 0. That's what we have. So the condition is correct. We can go through it. And then we're doing some calculation over here. We have the digit is %10. Remember, whenever we're doing the %10, we are getting the rightmost digit. And then we adding to the sum, and then we divide n by 10. And then after we're done with this, we're going to print it. Now, we're going to create a table. You can use Excel or similar applications to trace it, or you can just put it in on a paper. So we want to put the columns for every variable that we have so we can go through it. So we have n, sum, and a digit. So for the first time that we are there, my n is 17. Let me put this one in there. So my n is 1729. We're going to put that one in there. My sum is 0. We're going to put that one in there. And then we go inside of it. So n is greater than 0. So we're going to go inside. Now my sum, my n is not changing inside yet. So my sum becomes 9. We are right here. And then we're going to take the n and we're going to divide it by 10. So my original n was 1729. We're going to divide it by 10. So what is going to be my digit? The %10 is going to give me my digit, the most digit. That would be 9, 1729. That would give me 9. We're going to add that 9 to the sum, which was 0. That's why my sum is 9. And then we're going to modify our n. So when we're dividing by 10, my 1729 becomes 172. So now my n is 172. That's what happens to my n. The next step, I'm starting with 172. 172 is greater than 0. We're going to get the last digit or the first digit. You might want to look at it. So 172 is going to give me a digit 2. I'm going to add that to my sum. That's where my sum is become 11. And then I'm going to get 172 divided by 10. That's going to give me 17. So now that I have 17, the next step is going to give me 1, 18, and 7. And then my n becomes 0. And remember, the condition that we're checking is n greater than 0. So as soon as n gets to 0, we're going to stop. So when n becomes 0, we stop this one right here. And then we're going to get out of this. So when we're getting out of the block, this, whatever we declared here, this one doesn't exist outside of this block. It's only here. So this digit is not accessible when we are down here. It was 1 before we get out, but it's not accessible. I cannot print the digit outside of this. We are going to be printing the sum, which the sum is 19. So that's the hand tracing. We're just gonna put it on the paper or Excel sheet or something in that manner. We are not doing it in the IDE. Remember, we are just thinking about it. So I want to go over some of these self-check with you, and let's see if we can go through it together. Actually, you're going to be doing it, and we can go through it together in the class. So we start with 5, we go n greater than equals 0, we go minus minus, and we're going to print. So I want you to create that table and just go through it to see how you see it. Put a pause on this, and then we can play with it in class. And this is the next one. We have some changes in there, and put a pause on it, try it on. Again, don't do it in the IDE because you want to see it as it goes through. So you want to go through it by yourself. And this is another one that we want to do. Put a pause on it, practice on it. And one more. Remember, this is not, so we are checking for n not equal 50. So we can have equal, equal. Remember, one single equal is assignment. If we want to check it for equality, we do equal, equal. And if we want to do not equal, we are using this. So the rule of thumb is stay away from equal, equal, and not equal. Try to use greater than, less than, or greater than, equal, less than, or equal. And this section is going to show you why we want to stay away from it as much as possible. The exact match. So this is a pseudocode. Some of you guys were confused about the pseudocode. Remember, the pseudocode is not the actual code. It is between code and English language. We're kind of explaining what's happening. So we have the count is 1, we have the temp is n, and then we're going to check the condition to be sure the temp is greater than 10. We're going to increment the count, and we're going to divide temp by 10. So we want to trace this one for n being 123 and n being 100, and what are the errors that you find? I'm going to stop with this one right here.